And then the Pac-12 is, I don't know what to expect of the Pac-12. Like I said, they're very particular about the schools they allow in, so we'll see what they do. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football. Happy Monday again. Again, if you've been here for the other video I had, this is 2 in 1 day. I got a couple small topics I wanted to talk about, so I made 2 individual videos. If you want to be up to date on all things EA College Football, subscribe to this channel right now. I also do some Madden Pro and college football videos as well. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, before we start, remember, hit the like button. Really appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done either of those, please do those right now. I appreciate that. All right, guys, conference realignment. So I had to talk about some Madden stuff earlier. Again, quick video, touching up on some Madden rating things, but there was a report over the weekend. Now, again, I'm going to let you know something right now. And there's a guy, Josh Pate. He does a great job with, 247 Sports. He is unbelievable at breaking these sorts of things down. He basically said, remember all this. Remember everything. Just stop everything and remember this, okay? Bob Bowlesby was the commissioner of the Big 12. Bob Bowlesby found out that Texas and Oklahoma were leaving via TV at the same time as all we did. So even he didn't know. So there's going to be, this is the season of misinformation season, okay? There's going to be stuff all over the place. I heard this over here. I heard that over there. There's a whole bunch of things. Now, I made a couple previous videos before and I mentioned something. Do not underestimate the arrogance of the Pac-12. We are the Pac-12. Oh my God. And again, I said, I know Boise State, I'm a little bitter. I'd love to be in the same, conference as Utah and Washington State. They're all right there. They're actually pretty close. But that being said, I do understand they have some certain educational requirements that they want to make sure everybody fits into. So what happened? Again, we all make sure we bring it back. USC and UCLA go from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. They are solid schools. They're going over there, AAU members, things like that. They've got a lot of tier 1 research institutions. They do a lot of things in that respect. So the Pac-12 is kind of like, oh, what are we going to do? The Big 12 was rumored to be adding some schools. The ACC was rumored to be having some sort of merger between the Pac-12 and the Big 12, or excuse me, the Pac-12 and the ACC, and they would have like a conference championship game of conference championship games. It'd be something to that effect. Now, a lot of people are saying that the Pac-12 is destined to fall apart. There was a report over the weekend that said, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. So here we are from Kevin Borba on July 9th. The 10 remaining Pac-12 schools expected to stick together, even with all the rumors of other conferences like the Big 12 and ACC looking to poach Pac-12 schools. There is an expectation that they stick together. The talk about the Big 12 conference poaching Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado, the four corner schools, is dramatically overstated. I don't blame the Big 12 for angling and dreaming about possibly adding a Pac-12 university. I don't blame conference universities making a contingency plan, but I'm convinced that the Pac-12's remaining 10 members are galvanized right now. But even more interesting, Canzano asked 2 anonymous athletic directors from the Pac-12 how they felt in regards to the chances of the conference remaining intact, and they both expressed more confidence than the rest of the country. While one of them said they were confident, the other added a little tease as a part of their statement. Feel very confident, and we have good options. So let's make sure we're on the same page about that. So the Pac-12 not only believes that they're going to stick together, but they believe they have options out there. So remember last year, the Big 12 is dead. It's going to dissolve. It's going to be absorbed into the American. Who knows if we're releasing this, with the SEC, and we want you to go over to the American so we can get all the schools and just destroy the Big 12. Oh no! Look what happened. That story was. I don't think that was kind of planted there. That being said, though, I want to make sure we address this. That when they thought that the Big 12 was going to fall apart, it added BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. It added kind of some schools all over the place. Remember, Houston's in that Texas market. Cincinnati's out there close to West Virginia. UCF and BYU are kind of by themselves. But remember now they've added those schools. They have some sort of stability right now. Some sort of stability right now. However, what we did not expect, we thought that last year when the SEC was moving to 16, that the Big 12 or the Big 10 is just going to stand pat. They're not. They're expanding, and again, there's lots of rumors out there. I'm telling you right now, the ACC's grant of rights, the fact that schools aren't available for renegotiation or leaving until 2036, means we're probably not going to see any sort of movement for at least a decade. Again, unfortunately, if they can break that, there's a way, but I don't see a way they can break that. Now, With that, I do want to make sure that we're clear about this. So the Big 12 is thinking that, well, we have some solid ground to land on. Do any of you Pac-12 schools who are on more shaky ground now want to come to us? And I'm betting that the Pac-12 sees the Big 12 the way that the Big 12 saw the American, kind of like a fallback plan, kind of like, oh, why are you saying we're going to go there? We don't want to go there. The Pac-12 schools, I mean, and again, there's so many different rumors out there, but I had brought up before, I thought their two most obvious additions, they would not be good additions on the field. And unfortunately, the Pac-12 is, they really don't care about on the field as much as the other conferences do. They care about their perception. And with their perception, they would add AAU and or former AAU members. They would add Kansas, and they would add Iowa State, possibly Oklahoma State and Kansas State as kind of a center of the country pair or something like that. Maybe Texas Tech, R1 Research Institution, something like that. But what this means, and again, I'm a huge Boise State fan. My hope is the fact that I think that the Pac-12 is going to explore a whole bunch of options. George Kaliakov is very, very open. He's very honest about getting out there, contacting this guy, contacting that guy. I don't think there's any sort of tradition that he has to uphold to. I think what he's going to do is he's going to be kind of a trailblazer. Brett Yormark, the new commissioner of the Big 12, it came over from the Brooklyn Nets. They were playing in New York. They moved to Brooklyn. He's a forward-thinking guy as well. I think we've got two forward-thinking guys out there. One's going to try to poach from the other. The other's going to try and poach over the other or within that one as well. So what that means is I think those Pac-10 schools, because Oregon and Washington, they don't bring more dollars per se to the Big 10 right now. Remember, they even said right now. So the Pac-12 is kind of in a situation where they're like, you know, we have to probably be where the Big 12 is at, where we need to add some people to stabilize in some way. Now, what they could do, there's a couple different options. They could go to, remember how the Big 12 had 10 teams and they had a conference championship game. That was totally fine. They just said, we'll do a round robin and then we'll play each other one more time and we'll have that be the conference championship game. The Pac-12 with the 10 members, which should be the Pac-10. First of all, get rid of the numbers, okay? This is stupid. But anyways, they could do that same thing that the Big 12 did, where they could have 10 members, 9-game conference schedule, and then the final two play each other one more time for the conference championship game. That could be an option they do. They could also, like I said, look to expand. But I think what's going to happen here, is whatever they do, I do think that the Big 12 is probably going to, I hope that they expand again, because you see the fact they need to insulate even more, because you see now that the number appears to be 16. And for a while there, it was 12. Then a couple of people went to 14, then a couple of people went to 16, and now we're going to see the point to where we might even see like 20 to 24. Once we see 20 to 24, I'm telling you, the Big 12, the ACC, and the Pac-12 are all going to be pillaged. We're going to see what happens there. The bigger schools are going to go with the bigger conferences, the medium schools to medium, and small to small. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. However, I think that the Big 12 is probably going to, they had mentioned before, they mentioned 4 schools, Boise State, Memphis, South Florida, and then SMU to be added into their conference. Reason why they wanted to do that was they were thinking that they wanted to solidify the brand. I do think that, again, what would you rather do if you were the Big 12 right now? Do you think the Big 12 would rather go to 12 and then be slowly plucked off to here, to there, 4 here, and then have to add teams? Or do you think they would rather get to 16 teams, solidify, make sure that we have our 16 members here, and then if 2 get plucked, they're at 14 and they can kind of adjust from there. Well, maybe we can add some people and so on and so forth. Because like I said, it appears to be 16, the ACC's at 14. However, the ACC's grant of rights is ruining not only the addition of teams, but also the subtraction of teams. They've kind of locked themselves into ironically, they've locked themselves into a good spot. And then the Pac-12 is, I don't know what to expect of the Pac-12. Like I said, they're very particular about the school they allow in, so we'll see what they do. But that's enough about me. I want you guys to get in the comments right now. What do you guys think is going to happen with conference realignment? And again, like I said, if the Pac-10 stays together, what do you think is going to happen? Get in those comments. Let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Again, I just had a double one for the day. We're going to have a video released tomorrow, but that's all I had. I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, like, share, comment, subscribe. Like the video right now, sub. I'll see you guys then. I am out.